Had you been thinking about that for a long time, or, this Easter question, the center of Christianity?
The claim is so overwhelming and also so mysterious that I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to make of the idea of the physical resurrection. It's complicated conceptually right within the confines of the Gospels themselves. I don't know what it means metaphysically. I understand what it means symbolically.
I spent a few hours with Jordan at that time when he came to Liberty. And a year before he came, if I remember correctly, he took a 3-page article that I wrote on the resurrection. Now, the way I argue for the resurrection is to say I can use historical facts that unbelievers grant. I can use historical facts that atheist New Testament scholars, agnostic New Testament scholars, Jewish New Testament scholars who are trained in New Testament, they grant these facts, and I will use their facts and show that the resurrection happened. So I did this in I do it all over the place, but I did it in a little 3-page article, and he copied the whole article and put it on I guess he tweeted it. I'm trying to think what he did, but he put the whole article there at Easter time, the year before he came to Liberty. And then he made the comment, I don't think he was talking about my article. I think he was just talking about the resurrection in general, but he was talking about resurrection. My article's right there. And he says this. He said, I've got to give the resurrection more thought. This may be the most important thing, the most important topic I've ever studied or contemplated. And that's Jordan Peterson on the resurrection. When he came to Liberty, we discussed that in front of, 8 or 10,000 people. And then we discussed it later in private over dinner. And he just kept saying over and over again, I think it's really, really significant. Whether Jesus rose from the dead is very important. And he asked me if I would do a blog with him. Not a blog, a podcast with him. And as you may know, he has been he was in the hospital for a while, and we haven't gotten back to the podcast. I would hope to do it someday. But anyway, I have his comment in writing that this might be the most important thing he's ever considered. And then he also told me that privately. So I think he's really open. I consider him a friend. He was kind. He had read and studied, and he may not take my view, but I don't think he would tell you it was false. I don't think he would tell you it's not true. I think he's thinking about it.
Right. So that's an agnostic view that he has. But then, why is it not the right way to look at it as just a symbolic event?
Now, say this carefully. If a symbol is all you want, you got it. Take it. Say whatever you want. But if you want reality, and if you want evidence, and if you want assurance that your mother or father, when they died, that they were in Christ and they're going to live forever. If you want some kind of assurance in an argument, study an argument that has data. And I would say symbol is one thing. If it makes you feel good, you're going to have to answer that question. But if you want a symbol, there are symbols that are based on data and symbols that are not based on data. And if you want a symbol that's based on data, marriage is a symbol, but it's based on a legal precedent, and it can't be broken legally unless you go in and break it, or unless somebody dies. We say until death do we part. But it's legal. And I would rather have a symbol that's based on something solid. In that case, the law, but the marriage. But I would rather base a belief in eternity on teachings that are verified by a resurrection, and that can be verified. So I'm saying, let's put it this way: if a symbol is good, a symbol that's grounded is better.